Hey, you know something that's not glamorous to replace that you're supposed to replace every year? Something that's not glamorous?
What's that?
Your memory cards and your batteries.
Yes.
And
The unknown secrets of photography.
I know. I just spent $250 on boring SD cards.
Every year, I get rid of my in-loop
Yeah.
rechargeable batteries.
Yeah.
And every March. So I'm about to hit that purge. Every March, I have it set up where as soon as my Prime renews, that's my reminder to renew my batteries and
That's
my
a
SD cards.
one to grow on for you guys out there. Replace, if you're working pro, if you're just doing stuff for fun, who cares?
If you take it, first of all, 9 out of 10, if you're just doing stuff for fun, you don't have recyclable batteries anyway, so you're replacing your batteries as they die. But you should start using recyclable no matter what.
Who does that? I think everyone
Savages.
uses. Do you think people use regular batteries
Yes,
still?
I see it all the time.
Damn.
Duracell's a multi-billion-dollar company for a reason.
You're right. Killing our environment, you bastards.
So seriously, every year, if you're a professional or you're charging someone, replace the SD cards because the failure rate goes up.
Crazy up
with the longer they're in your rotation.
I'm also super paranoid, so
there's no reason not to be super. Your people are paying you to do something.
All right, question number 1 for you. If you could have another accent for a week, what? Scottish. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Or is that Irish?
That's both. In the way
you like this? Yeah. Oh, Scottish is more like.
You know what?
I'm William Wallace.
So if I'm going to be serious in the world, no, not Scottish then. And I don't mean that disrespectful, but to me,
definitely not.
I love my friends that are Scottish because they always come in, they're peppy, they're poppy.
Oh, I'm talking just the way you sound.
No, but if I was personally going to I would go either Spaniard, straight from Spain.
Really?
Or I would go the old-fashioned, Italian,
Oh, hey.
No.
That's Hoboken.
That's New Jersey Italian.
Hey, how you doing?
Forget about it. I want 2 of those to go, please. No ketchup.
Oh, my gosh. So, like a Mario, like you would talk like that.
Oh, you'll find someone to put here. But anyway, no, I actually prefer Italian.
You don't like it?
And Spanish accents, I do.
You got it all wrong. I would be like New Zealand or Australia.
My opinion, and you're telling me I'm all wrong.
How about like a Kiwi from New Zealand?
They're all right.
Come on, they say important. Important? That's important.
It's a Z battery there.
Yeah, is it? That's a very important. They also say, I love the way they say the number 13. 13. Number 13. All right.
Okay,
that's all right, mate. Let's talk like this the whole time.
It's Tiki Watati.
Actually, British people sound the best.
They do. But I don't want that accent. That's better for them.
It's not my favourite accent. They sound so great when they talk.
No, you just went Scottish on it.
Oh, I did. I don't know.
Anyway, we're moving on for that.
All right, sorry.
Tell
me about the iPhone, yeah?
Oh, yes, the iPhone.
All right, so why are you trying to be like me? So, Mo, here's my, although I am Team Pixel.
Stop.
I do have an iPhone.
Put that down here. All right.
And so, you?
Apple.
Oh, okay.
Look at me.
Dear Apple.
Look at me, Cap. I'm the captain now. Look at me. So, I want to say I'm sorry, Apple.
I'm sorry.
And I want to say sorry because before the iPhone XR was released, and you told me the specs about it, I bashed you. I criticized you.
Totally did.
Said bad things about you. And then the XR came out. YouTubers started reviewing it and saying, you know what, guys, it's not that bad. And then, you know me, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let YouTubers tell me what I think about anything. I'm going to try it out myself. And it doesn't have the same image quality looking at the screen. You're definitely going to notice a big difference between the screen of an iPhone XS, 10X Max compared to the iPhone XR. But if they're not side by side, your mind is not going to comprehend the difference, and you're going to be more than happy with what you got. Of course, the price doesn't hurt.
Side by side. You just said something great right there. I put the Pixel 3 next to the iPhone XR and played the 8K video from Peru. It's like the standard to try. The screen on the Pixel 3 is like so amazing. But if they're not side by side, it doesn't matter.
And 9 out of 10 of you out there don't have 2 phones like I do.
Yeah.
So the one phone you have, if you want to spend money on an Apple phone, don't buy the 10s. Don't buy the 10s Max. Buy the 10R. It's a 6.1 inch phone. It's right in the middle of the S, and it's right in the middle of the Max. So it's a great phone. I ended up picking it up in
Oh.
product red,
Yeah, hold on.
and I ended up selling the S for a substantial amount of money, and buying this and having money in the account. Because I was able to sell it, because at this point it's still a very desired phone. People were willing to pay for it, and I got money in my pocket, and I got a great iPhone still in my hand.
All right, so is there anything you're missing from the X?
No, because the biggest thing missing is the haptic, not the haptic feedback, the 3D touch, which I never used.
Which I think is dying. Like Apple's trying to get rid of that, I think.
And then the other thing is not having portrait mode on non-humans. And like I told Omar, I'm a freaking photographer. I know how to create my own bokeh if I really want it on something. So
Totally.
So again, Apple, kudos on you. It's still a cheap phone. It's still, honestly, you're still charging way too much money for the display you're giving me, but I'm happy with it overall.
I love this phone. This is a really great phone.
But
It just feels good in the hand. I don't like putting it in a
techie
case.
guy like I am.
I know.
So while I said I'm very happy with it, I'm not missing anything from the more expensive phones. I still think for the price you cheap this out, and again, the fact that you're still including that old brick charger, no headphones, shame on you for that. I can't be 100% positive for Apple, but either way, good job on the XR, the 10X, the 10R.
Nice. Welcome to the club, buddy. Team Blue.
Shut your mouth.
You hate it. You hate it. Oh, well, we recently did some headshot photography together.
Yes, we did. I had I'm the team photographer at the office where I work at, and I was asked if I could do some headshots. And I've done headshots before, and I said, you know what, no problem. I said, but this time, instead of doing the environmentally headshots that I've shown you that I normally do, I decided to do corporate, old-fashioned backdrop, focusy type of thing, and I asked you to come along to help me.
That was fun.
And I thought
loved
it was a great
First
time.
of all, I loved being an assistant. The amount of pressure that goes down when you're not the photographer, I learned a lot more because my anxiety levels dropped so much. I had fun. You saw me. I was like,
we were bouncing all over the place like you typically can be. We had fun. We learned how to work with people. We learned how to adapt to the situations that we arrive. See, if you're doing headshots on one person, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because you set it up, you test a couple of shots, you're ready, you're perfect. You take whatever you need to make that guy's final product.
yeah.
We had 7 different people come through.
Yeah, well, let's back up a little bit because I want to talk about what you mentioned a second ago was environmental versus background. I was talking to someone who's in the business world, and you this is maybe good advice for some of you trying to get into headshot photography. You have to know what your product is going to be because there is a market for headshots with the office in the background or the environment in the background, or maybe on the street like we talked about. If they work on Wall Street, take it outside in New York versus on white or gray. There's a market for both. So you have to maybe decide, are you going to have both or do one? Or
Because once you start specializing with anything in photography, once you start specializing, specifically headshots, people know how to find you because they start looking for your work and what type of work they want to see. And if your photos still continuously come up with the same, environmental shot, the same white background, they're going to realize, well, this guy does
That's what he does.
That's what he does. He does it
That's
well.
what she does.
Let me call this Susan up. See what
I
she
recommend that too. I recommend owning a look. And then that's going to free your brain up from the technical.
All you have to worry about is how am I going to get this person into my look?
Yeah.
So I already know where I want my lights. I already know where I want this. I just need to figure out this guy's this tall. I have to re-aim my lights. This guy's this short. I got to re-aim my lights. This young lady's hair is this color.
Yeah. I need to?
You already have enough to think about with the photography going on. If you create your own look, you already know the look part of it. You don't have to worry about your setup. You just have to worry about the tweaking.
Yeah, I think our setup was good. It was a little overkill for what the job was. Like if that was a real job, so let me explain the setup. So the headshot, I'm trying to up my headshot game because my business doesn't have any kind of headshot. I do them like on a case by case, like as needed. Good. But I think I want to diversify a little bit and maybe have in the future, I'm talking 2-3 years, maybe start doing more headshots. And free up, because I do events which are like high stress and high volume. So I'm trying to work out my lighting situation. So the first thing I was thinking, and I've seen great photographers do this, is using natural light. The benefit is the natural light, if you have a huge garage opening, that sounds stupid.
That
You
makes
have a
sense.
little garage.
There are people with small
don't-
garages.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I was thinking like, it's too low. The car
Large.
won't fit.
Meep, meep.
You got the small garage, damn it. Only go-karts fit. What I meant was maybe you have if you have maybe the lighting is very consistent. If you use natural light, it's called garage lighting. You can set up gray. There's one guy, David Knowles. I'll link him up or maybe put a picture here. He has a beautiful natural light look that he repeats over and over again. They're beautiful headshots, acting headshots, but mind you. So I did some natural light headshots. They were great. You just have to have a very big light source for the light to just look beautiful.
And I think not that our neck of the woods, Northeast America, is the best place, because we do have such a fluctuation in weather that I think that also could be a hindrance.
Totally. You're right.
If you're in California, you're 9 out of 10 times you're going to have a sunny day. You know where your shadows are going to be at what time of day.
You can pretty
So
much
you
get
could
away
pretty
with.
much- you
Yeah,
could
you're right.
Definitely nail it better somewhere else. Here in the Northeast, you still have a good idea of what the light's going to be doing at what time of day, but you also have so many variables such as weather, clouds.
Yeah, so if you can't really use a garage, I could use a guitar.
Guitar band.
So natural light, I think if you are just going to do a headshot for a friend really quickly and you have a beautiful natural light coming in, like a large window, hash it out. Totally fine. On gray background, I'll show one that I did here with natural light. It works. But if you're going to be serious, you really should have lights because you can have repeatable results.
Exactly. You could kill all the ambient and control everything with your lights.
Totally.
So
our setup, I was saying, was overkill. I had like a 5 foot? It was a 60-inch soft umbrella. It was so big for the space.
Huge.
It was huge.
it was huge.
And then we had a 37-inch fill light underneath
reflector
for a little
no,
clamshell.
That's right.
Yeah. I was describing the clamshell. We had a reflector on the left.
Reflector on the left. We had a hair light towards the back.
And by the way, I remember we were talking about what Chinese companies were great. We mentioned
Newer.
Newer. We jinxed it because
Yes.
I opened up the Newer umbrella and it totally broke on me.
We didn't jinx it. We did tell people you're getting bang for your buck. You paid like $4 for that thing. It's lasted you like 2 years.
I opened it up and it was like, ding, everything broke on it. Like,
I mean, it lasted him 2 years, folks. I think he got his money's worth.
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true. I'm going to buy it again. I have another one. But always have a backup. I should have brought 2 of those cheap things.
And we had so much stuff.
You're right. We had a cart full of crap. It was too much. And I think that's one of the things I need to work on. I want it all to fit in a little, like a little duffel or like a kind of like a golfing bag. You know, you can roll everything.
I think that we learned that from that shoot, that everything we had there, we could have still pulled it off had we gone with the 200 Explorers only.
Yeah.
And a smaller setup. I mean,
even speed lights.
Right. It worked out perfectly as we set it up. But if we were forced by environment to go smaller, we would have been able to. We learned that we would have been able to pull it off.
Yeah.
With a smaller setup.
Yeah, I think I need to rock a smaller setup because your little conference room in there was large, but you go somewhere else and they only give you a corner. You know, hey, we're going to do all the headshots here, sitting in a little stool in a corner. You have to...
As soon as you open your umbrella, you're hitting you on the head and you're like...
Too big, too much stuff. So I like the light that comes from a huge modifier, but we may need to work with those modifiers a little closer and use more portable ones.
I really enjoyed it. I guess, like you said, we learned so much, and we're going to be able to apply that into other parts of our photography.
I love what you did. I mean, maybe you can send me some here, but some of the headshots look great for someone's LinkedIn, someone's website. They look pro.
My new YouTube picture.
Oh, yeah, we were fooling around. We'll put some of our own here. We had a good time.
It was a good time. And again, we now know we can do this with natural light or with these lights, but you can't do it with natural lights indoors. That's never going to work.
We need a hole in this wall.
Dock it down. Make it so.
It's the only way. It's my look. But are you interested at all in like doing, like if you only did headshot photography, do you think that could be someone's career?
Yes.
I mean, obviously if you're Peter Hurley, but yes.
There's plenty of things. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, establishing your look.
Yeah.
I think there's so many ways to create your look. There's photographers that have only headshots with wide angle lenses.
Yeah, a little bit more artistic. Yeah.
And people who have, dual light setup on either of the sides, one light setup with one hair light. I mean, whatever you want your look to be, make it your look.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what are you selling in this world? You're not selling a picture taker, because we can all take a picture, right? You're selling your ability to take a picture and make it look amazing.
And people don't know why it's amazing. And it's like a 3-light setup.
Exactly.
They're just like, wow, that looks good. They don't know.
Speaking of a light setup, I have to say something. If you remember, we've talked about, I was on a creative live with Don Giannotti. You have to follow him. Yeah. He put a video up yesterday where he posted like 4 of people's pictures, and he broke down the lighting setup for them.
Good or bad? Were the pictures like really good?
Like the pictures were nice.
They were nice, and he
really
was
nice
saying,
pictures.
"What did they do here?"
One was a headshot of a white-haired guy, a white shirt guy, and he was talking about how the lighting breaks apart. Where had he gone with, if they didn't flag it here, everything would blend together because there's some flagging
so advanced,
here.
Yeah.
So if you want to have an understanding of photography lighting, Don Giannotti. It's amazing how his eye, over the years of doing this for himself, he's able to tell you, this photo here has one large splash light going this way, one fill light going in from here. And I couldn't see it until he tells you, look at how the lighting on the cheek breaks up. And you could tell that that's too harsh to be a softbox. It's cool. It's amazing.
We gotta check it out.
Back to our point.
Can I bounce off that?
Please.
And I just saw Joel Grimes do the same thing, where he saw a picture of like natural lighting and windows, and what did he do? He took 2 humongous 7-foot umbrellas and put them right next to each other on the side of a model, like on her side. And I'm like, this is not going to work. I doubted Joel Grimes. Anyway, I'm like, this is not going to work. She's going to be completely half lit. Those humongous lights were so soft as a humongous 14-foot window that the light was like, oh.
I'm going to have to find this video now.
And then I'm like, I got to try that. And tomorrow I have a shoot. I'm going to try the 2 huge umbrellas. Of course, I'll fail.
Right. Joel Grimes will call you. He's like, that's not how I did
You're
it.
You're doing it wrong, you idiot. But I like that. I like that they, this whole like previs is something to work on. What are these lights going to do? What are they going to do? I was going to say a benefit of headshot photography, I was going to say, is if you're doing wedding photography or event photography, the stages, there's a lot of stages. Pre-wedding, wedding, engagement session, album session. The people you keep seeing, your relationship is like a year or 2 before the job is done.
Right.
There's something magical about someone comes into your doctor's office, there's a visit, they get their product and they leave. And then you can keep meeting new people. I just find the positive, that's a cool positive, is you meet someone.
Somebody doesn't even think about that this will be a one transaction. Transaction. It's not, we have to meet beforehand. It's not, we have to take shots before the shots.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need some headshots. Come in on Tuesday. I'll see you.
Come in Tuesday, right? And then you're shooting tethered. The people see what, you shoot tethered behind you. You give them like immediate feedback.
Good point. If you are doing headshots for your friends, for a business, you need to let them look at the photos and pick which ones they want you to work on. A lot of people are afraid to show their unedited.
No, you have to sit with them. Yeah,
it scared me. He's like, no. He's like, you're wrong.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing.
He's like, no, that you have to let the people see your work. You have to explain to them that you're going to touch up a few things. And 2, you have to give them the power to pick their own photo, because if you give them a photo and not a choice, they're not going to be happy with the photo you pick for them. So it's very important, no matter what level of headshots I've ever done. If it's not a headshot, I'm not a photographer that will show you the back of my screen. Yeah. Unless I took one picture that was so amazing that I had to show the model at that moment. I know that with my Nikon D850, I had so many megapixels that I never wanted my models to look at the picture because they would hate themselves. Yeah. But I've always found with headshots, you need to show the customer the output so they can pick the one they want you to work on.
Yeah, and I would Go ahead.
And don't spend your week editing 17 headshot photos when they've already picked the one they want.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. I would say one way to work it is to shoot tethered, not that they can see. You don't want to take photos and that they're seeing them live. Have it off to the side, work with the person, and then pause, come off to the side, and then I would say go through the tethered Lightroom together and talk to them like, hey, you look great here. You see what you did with your eyes here? Great. I love this smile. Let's get back in the chair. Round 2.
How I work with that, because that's exactly how I work it, is I didn't do it this time because I was, I didn't know what Omar was bringing. I didn't want to overkill everything, so I brought just limited stuff. But what I like to do is SD card reader, iPad Pro.
Like a little tethered kind of, yeah.
And then on my, again, because I have dual memory cards.
Oh, you take out the small.
I take out the small, put it in, let them see what they're doing. If they like it, they don't like it. When we go back to the camera, take the SD card, put it back in the camera, and continue shooting.
That's great.
That way, it minimizes the downtime.
Good. And I did see that you can shoot tethered using some of this. To check with your camera, but you can use like the little Wi-Fi if you're hooked up, and they will live be on there. So that's a great point. Once your lighting is set and your look is set, you need to get good at being like getting something out of the people so they feel comfortable in the chair. It's horrible getting your picture taken.
Right.
Horrible.
Because what Omar's saying is you have the lighting perfect, everything's amazing, and this is the look that you get.
Yeah. Like the deer in the headlights, or they look stiff, or they look scared.
Yeah, like they're about to get punched in the face.
And that, believe it or not, is a whole other beast, and is harder to get people to like look loose and look comfortable and look confident and approachable. And I think working on that side of it is where you have to ask friends, their friends, work for free, just be in front of a bunch of people.
Because
yeah,
exactly what you're saying is if you're one-on-one in a room with one person, you know nothing about that person, you're going to have to dig deep into your well of how to bring stuff out of people. And the only way to develop that skill naturally is by practicing. Like Omar said, with shoot for friends for free, have a lot of people in the room at once. You can gauge different personalities.
Yeah.
Because you could have the boss who's type A who's not going to want to play with you.
Totally.
But you still got to draw something out of him. Or you could have Susan from the mailroom.
Giggle lady.
Like the minute she walks into the room, it's like, and you have to actually tone her down.
Tone her down because everything's like,
like Susan, no, we don't need all those teeth.
Listen, come on. And your gums and your nose. Yeah. So I totally agree with that, man, seeing all kinds of different types of people will make you a better photographer. And if you're fumbling with your gear and camera and lights, forget it. People read that this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
They don't know what he's doing.
Because, you walk in.
This is terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Own the room. Walk in, own the room. Take the shot. Make the shot magical. Let them pick the shot. Kick them the heck out. You're done. Wrap that up, son.
I'm going to say 2 words. Caesar Milan. What if you did that? So you're it's good. We touch. If you control. No, actually, all joking aside, Caesar Milan said that when he's trained, if you don't know who Caesar Milan is, he's the dog whisperer. He had a show where he would sort of be a great dog trainer because he understood how dogs view us and the psychology of dogs. And he basically said that 2 words, not Caesar Milan, calm, assertive, that dogs respect and listen to any owner that's calm, assertive. They're not aggressive. And his analogy was like Oprah Winfrey is calm, assertive. She walks out and she's super friendly, super wonderful, but you're not going to mess with her. And she owns her space. So you as a photographer, you come in, you're super cheerful, you're wonderful, you're calm, but you can get something out of that person. Even though they're a CEO, they're listening to you.
Exactly. And that's exactly it. If you walk in like, and what I want you to do, you know what, sit here. No, if you walk in like that.
Maybe turn this way. No.
Matter of fact, if his name is like Mr. Josh Johnson, you're going to say, hey, Josh.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Hey, Joshy boy.
Hey, is that your real name? Get out of here with that.
Oh my God.
Your mother didn't like you.
And you have, I think you have to find your own, you may be an introvert. You have to find your own way. I was watching a Peter Hurley talk, and he even has an app with this thing called Hurleyisms. they're like wacky things that you tell the person to get them to get reactions. Like things like pretend you're whatever, the Prince of Dubai. Like he just says these random things to get people either to like react or. So he has an app and I found that like I couldn't use that app.
No, because you're so anti-robotic, you know.
I don't know. I get reactions out of people using my own way, like either talking with them or just being like.
I think the app would make you feel like you're just being a robot or something. It automatically confines you.
It might give you some ideas, but I don't know.
I think for people who are introverted, people who are not socially butterfly-ish, then this would be a good idea. Something like an app or pre-planned ideas that you write down and keep in your head.
Good idea. Maybe put them down somewhere.
But I think if it's not coming off naturally, people are going to notice that. So I think another thing, maybe you have to stop and think, I'm so introverted, is photography really for me?
Or this kind of headshot. Maybe like a different kind of headshot photography. Yeah.
Like far away stuff. Don't touch me.
Got my 400mm lens.
I need you across the street, sir.
You're going to sit over there?
I'll be sitting flag signals.
I don't like people.
Oh, wait, gun show time.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. That's enough for headshot photography. Good luck with your headshot photography out there. Give us your tips below. And if you're starting a business, I need headshots. All right, brother. All right. Love you, man.
Be
All
good.
Right. See ya.